If you're starting a coffee roasting company, I'm going to give you 3 things that took me years to understand how important they are. And once we started applying them, our operation started to grow. Let's get into this. Number 1, deeply understand your ideal coffee drinker. Now, this is number 1 for a reason, because this becomes the foundation to which you build your entire roasting company on. This is very, very important. Oftentimes what happens is you, as the owner of the coffee roasting company, you end up being the ideal coffee drinker that you're trying to provide a service or a product for. Now, this could be good in some cases, because you know yourself really well. You have a preference, you have a style, and you're just curating to that style. And you also understand some of the problems that maybe people like you and who enjoy coffee, some of the things that they're looking for. However, this isn't always helpful, because just because you're a certain way, that doesn't mean others are a certain way as well, which means you need to go talk to as many people as you possibly can that evolve around your ideal coffee drinker. You need to find out, where are they buying their coffee? How are they buying their coffee? Does some packaging resonate with them more than other kinds of packaging? What matters to them? What doesn't matter to them? What makes them unhappy with their current options? And what does make them happy with their current options? And you need to do as much research on this ideal coffee drinker as you possibly can. Take as many notes as you can. Look for trends, and oftentimes you'll start to notice trends in the responses that people give you. There are things that they're unhappy with. There are things that they're happy with. There are things that do matter to them. Maybe pricing matters to them, and sometimes pricing isn't that big of a deciding factor for them. And once you get all this feedback and this information, that becomes the bedrock to which you build your entire product on. And not only that, is you need to figure out, how do you do everything that they like and are looking for, and actually go above and beyond. Not just give them what they're looking for, but go above and beyond and be a little forward thinking and innovative. Number 2, nail down your product and tailor it around your ideal coffee drinker. Now, there's a reason why number 1 was number 1, because now you need to build the product. You need to build the thing that people are looking for and people are wanting. And you need to build that and tailor this around all the information and data you just collected from talking to as many people as possible. You have to give them something that's better than what they already have. So there has to be you meeting their expectations, but going above and beyond. And product is everything. It is not good enough for just you to enjoy your coffee. At that point, the really smart thing to do is you should just become a hobbyist home roaster that shares coffee with their community, with their friends and family that you really enjoy. And that's it. It removes all the stress from being a business owner, for trying to grow your coffee roasting business. You have to build something so good that they can't help but keep coming back over and over and over again. And not just coming back, but that they go and tell their friends about what you're offering. They have to be wanting to come back, even if it's a little bit more expensive. Again, I discourage just going in and saying, I'm going to be the cheapest one possible, because that is a very hard game to play. And there are much bigger players in the game that will always be able to undercut you. Very, very worth it for you to take a lot of time to nail this down before you start a coffee roasting company. I understand that with time, as more people adopt your product, you're going to be able to get different feedback and adjust and make your product even better. But you have to take it very, very far before you even start your coffee roasting company. Be confident in the thing that you're bringing to market. I wish before we started that we nailed down our product much better and talk to more people about what we were bringing to market. Now, did we do that? Yes, we did. Did we start with a solid product? Yes, we did. But in my opinion, now looking back with the things that I know today, was it good enough? Was it enough? I think I could have done a much, much better job. Number 3, knowing what to focus on. As a coffee roasting company owner, there are always 100 things you could be doing at any given moment, because it's just a handful. However, there are 10 core things that are way more important than everything else that actually move the needle in any business. Oftentimes, the 100 things that you could be doing, they all are good. Man, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. And you could be totally right. But the secret here is actually realizing that there are 10 things that you could be doing that are going to move the needle the most and give you the greatest return on the time you invest. It's the classic 80-20 rule. Like 80% of your business comes from 20% of your audience. Now, some practical ways you can incorporate this. Well, if you're starting this with a business partner, I would highly recommend is get very, very organized. Have tasks delegated for each person and have them clearly written out. Make sure people know exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what you're working towards by doing the tasks that you have laid out. Now, if you're launching this by yourself, is realizing, okay, what do I need to do if I have 8 hours in a day? Maybe I only have 3 hours in a day because I'm doing this after my day job. Figuring out why am I doing these things? How are they building towards the end result? Also, a few things is when you're starting out, there are a few really important things you need to keep in mind. Number one is you need to figure out how to tell as many people as possible about your product. And this goes back to knowing your ideal coffee drinker. Really, it's how do you tell as many ideal coffee drinkers about your product and what you're doing? That is an absolute necessity. And you need to tell as many people. We're not talking about just 10 people, 15, 20, 30, 40 people. We're talking about thousands and thousands of these ideal coffee drinkers. How do you tell them that you exist and that you have something that they want? Number two is creating an offer that is enticing for those people, so they clearly understand that you have all the things that they're looking for. You know the things that are making them unhappy. You know the things that make them happy. You know the things that they're looking for. And being able to communicate that in a clear way is going to be very, very important. And lastly, I think is once you get this off the ground and people are buying, is figuring out how do you constantly keep iterating on your product. Every time you receive feedback, every time you talk to the people who are buying your product, is asking them, how can I make this better? What did they not like? What did they like? And constantly being ready to innovate, to iterate on your core product so that they can enjoy it much more than they did before. You're probably thinking, well, this is obvious, duh. Like, I've heard this 100 times. That's the thing. You may have heard it a lot of times, but really taking action and doing the things that you know you should be doing that are important is going to go a far ways. Feel free to drop a comment down below. Tune into our podcast, and remember, as we always say, reflect what's good.